Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jonathan here. The current pandemic we're in has taken a huge hit on the economy. During this pandemic, unemployment reached as high as 14.7%, and the stock market fell 37% in 45 days. Given that before this pandemic, we're in a 10-year-long bull run, this shocked a lot of people, and it really put our economy inside a very precarious position. So, in late March, Congress passed the CARES Act, which provided much needed stimulus to people, many different facets. It provided money for businesses, provided money for people who are unemployed. It gave stimulus checks to almost every American. Ever since that bill was passed, many economic experts have stated that more stimulus will be needed to get through this pandemic. Ever since the summer, Congress has been going back and forth trying to figure out how are they going to provide stimulus, how much money they should provide, where that money should be allocated, and whatnot. And after months of debating, Congress was finally able to pass another stimulus bill to aid people through this pandemic. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the newly passed stimulus bill and how that is going to affect your wallet. And this video took a lot of time to research, so all I ask for in return is that you please hit the like button for your YouTube algorithm. It greatly helps out the channel and helps this video get pushed out to as many people as possible, because there's a lot of good information in here and I don't want anyone to miss out on any of these programs. The first portion of the relief package I want to talk about is the stimulus checks, or really we should just call it relief checks because of how long it's taken for us to finally get to an agreement on this. So pretty much the relief checks are $600 per person. They're a one-time direct payment of $600 per person, $1,200 for every married couple, and then $600 for every child dependent that is under the age of 17. So any adult dependents, whether that's grandparents or kids in college or people like that, will not qualify for any stimulus money. Also, people who don't have social security numbers will not qualify either. So if you have a family where there's 4 people, 3 people have social security numbers and 1 person has the ITIN number, that person with the ITIN number will not qualify for stimulus, but the other 3 people will. Contrary to the CARES Act, just because 1 person doesn't have a social security number doesn't mean that the whole family will not get a relief check. I actually have an update on the stimulus checks that I'll discuss later on in the video. The second important aspect of this relief bill is the unemployment boost. So Congress had cut the boost from $600 a week down to $300 a week. So they cut it in half, and it won't be retroactive. And pretty much it'll start the day after Christmas on December 26th, and it'll go for 11 weeks. And this boost will be on top of whatever you qualify for your state unemployment. And then also for the pandemic unemployment assistance for individuals who are self-employed or independent contractors, that program has been extended for another 11 weeks. So now you have 50 weeks in total instead of 39 weeks. The next thing I want to discuss is student loans. So there is no provisions in this bill that discuss student loans, but the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, did approve a 1-month extension to the student forbearance program. So if you have any federal student loans, you won't be required to make any payments on it until after January 31st. So in this bill, they wrote text that allows expenses that were covered by the PPP loan to be tax deductible. And this applies for any new PPP loans and existing ones as well. Also, this bill included a provision that allows you to take a second draw at a PPP loan. But there's a couple new requirements for you to be able to apply for this loan. The first requirement is that your business has to have a 25% decline in revenue from whatever quarter you decide to use in 2020 and compared it to the quarter in 2019. So for example, let's say you use your quarter 2 earnings from this year and compare it to your quarter 2 earnings from 2019. There has to be at minimum a 25% decline in revenue for you to qualify for this loan. You can pick any quarter this year to compare it to any quarter last year. The second requirement is that your businesses must have less than 300 employees. And any business that is publicly traded will not qualify for a PPP loan this time. So let's say that you didn't take the PPP loan the last time it was offered and you want to take it this time. You are able to take a first draw. The only thing is that now you have to adhere to the new requirements of 300 employees and the 25% decline in revenue. And for the PPP loan coverage, in the CARES Act, you're only allowed to borrow up to 8 weeks of relief. But now with this new one, you can do anywhere from 8 to 24 weeks. You can select a period from anywhere from 8 to 24 weeks of loan coverage. And now the loans max is capped at $2 million. And just as a reminder, on the CARES Act, it was capped at $10 million. So not a lot of people heard about this, but there was an EIDL grant that was offered to businesses, and they had given $1,000 per employee. So now this time around, they are offering that same EIDL grant to small businesses, but now you must meet 2 requirements. The first requirement is that you must be in a low-income community, and restrictions on that get pretty complicated, so I'll let you do the research for that. But then the second requirement for it as well is that you must have suffered an economic loss of at least 30% when comparing any 8-week period between March 2nd of 2020 to December 31st of 2020. And so between March 2nd and December 31st of this year, you have to take some 8-week period, and you're allowed to compare it to any 8-week period from 2019. And if you could prove that you've had a business loss of at least 30% or more, you're eligible to take this grant. I'm sorry, there's actually 3 requirements for this. The third requirement is that you must, again, have less than 300 employees. So if you got an EIDL grant last time, they'll just give you the rest to make it $10,000. So let's say you applied for an EIDL grant and you have 3 employees. And so you got $3,000. If you apply this time and you qualify, then they'll give you the other $7,000 to make it $10,000 in total. So it's not like you're getting another $10,000. You're just going to get the $7,000 so you can make it 10 altogether. So like I talked about earlier in the video, I did have an update, and this is pretty breaking news. So President Trump came out tonight and he said that he will not sign a bill that does not have at least $2,000 in direct payments to people, aka relief checks. So this has caused kind of a firestorm because President Trump is a Republican, and it's mostly been the Republican side of Congress that has been against these higher stimulus check packages. Multiple Democrats have tweeted out that they're in agreement with the president and that they should get this done. But it kind of puts the Republican Congress members in a really weird spot because their own Republican president has now put them in this weird spot. So it should be very interesting to see how they move forward with this situation. So this relief bill is very targeted, and it's not as, I guess you could say, liberal as the last relief bill. But also, when you think about it, the economy is also in a lot better of a state than it was back in March, when nobody really knew what was going on. People were just losing their jobs left and right, and it was a complete mess. This obviously isn't the best situation, but it's better than absolutely nothing. I'd like to thank you for watching. This video took me a ton of time to do. I had to read almost 1,000 pages of the bill. And so all I ask for in return, if you got any value from this video, is to please hit the like button. It greatly helps out the channel and helps get this video pushed to as many people as possible, so then everyone can make sure that they get as much stimulus relief as they can. If you enjoyed the way I explain things, I highly encourage you to hit the subscribe button down below and click on the bell to get notified anytime I post a new video. While you're down there, check out the link for Webull, where you can get 4 free stocks up until the end of the month. Think about that. That's 4 absolutely free stocks. That's just straight up free money. Also, while you're down there as well, leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you have any questions about this bill, I did read a good chunk of it, so I may be able to answer your questions if you leave them in the comment section down below. Also, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I try to post there every day. And thank you for watching. Until next time.